ordered the release of $200 million used as a deposit in the case against Process and Industrial Development, PNID, to the Nigerian government. The governor of the central bank, Godwin Emefiele, who confirmed the development on Tuesday, said the ruling follows the establishment of prime facie fraud before the court. Commenting on the outcome, Emefiele said due to the substantial evidence of prime facie fraud established before the court, Nigeria is pleased that the judge has agreed to release the guarantee. The court also rejected PNID's application to increase the guarantee. Still on judiciary matters, the Federal High Court in Abuja has dismissed the suit seeking to sack Imo State Governor Hope Uzodinma. Justice Okon Abang dismissed the suit in a ruling on Tuesday after the plaintiff applied to withdraw it on the grounds that issues submitted for determination were already before the Supreme Court. Justice Abang described the suit as a mere waste of the court's time and awarded cost at 500,000 naira each in favor of first, second and seventh defendant. The candidate of the Reform and Advancement Party in the last governorship election in Imo State, Kingdom Nnamdi Okere, had filed a suit asking the court to stop Uzodinma from further acting in the capacity of governor. The plaintiff had prayed the court to, among others, interpret the provision of Section 117 subsection C of the Constitution vis-a-vis the circumstances relating to Uzodinma's emergence as governor. To many Nigerians, the Nigerian Labour Congress NLC may have been reduced to a mere toothless bulldog that can only bark without biting. They think that the once masses union, which previously helped to put the government in check against harsh policies, may have become helpless in the face of several severe government policies that have affected the people lately. Do people still have confidence in the Labour Union as the representative of the masses? Well, Extra Voices has people's view in this in a moment.
Ever-revolving world of news, one story becomes extinct the moment another major story breaks.
Market women don't know whether they pay anything.
But with KUFM's Extra Voices, the story never dies. It just takes on a new life.
Market meho.
There's no water in the house. The toilet is not good.
We don't have any fashion in APC.
We bring you new angles and fresh perspectives to every story, no matter how old or remote.
There are a lot of educated people that are involved in politics nowadays.
We go a little beyond the surface to get you those extra details ignored in the rush for the news.
Now bridge, now we take the cars now.
Some don't die for inside.
We go beyond the lines to bring extra voices, not just for those making the stories.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
But for those affected by the stories.
I've lost one bag of rice, documents.
So it's a real disaster.
With Extra Voices, we add new flavor to give fresh perspective and taste to an old story. Extra Voices airs every Wednesday and weekends on KUFM's major news bulletins.
The recent suspension of mass protest and strike action by organized labor is eliciting wide criticism from stakeholders in Benin City. The industrial action was proposed by both the Nigeria Labour Congress NLC and the Trade Union Congress TUC over the hike in fuel pump price and electricity tariff. KUFM correspondent Nosahai Wadiai highlights the spillover effect of the increment and views of respondents across Edo states.
The Nigerian masses have expressed disappointment over the suspension of mass protest and indefinite strike action slated for last Monday over the recent hike in petrol and electricity tariffs by federal government of Nigeria. The retail pump price for petrol is currently between 160 naira and 166 naira per litre. The policy changes is already biting hard on the masses, prompting the organized labor to threatening to embark upon an industrial action if the policies were not reverted. But to the amazement of many Nigerians, the mass protest was suspended in the early hours of Monday. Since then, many Nigerians have been speaking aloud. The National Association of Nigerian Students, NAS, Zone B, which comprises South, South and Southeast, described the increment of petrol pump price as anti-people.
I'm Comrade Imafido Imadioge Steven, student activist. We totally reject agreements by the NSA and the TUC. As at this particular time, Nigerians should be given what will liberate them from the poverty level, not what will further put them to poverty.
A civil servant Franca Igminedion said the impact of the hike in petrol is already telling on Nigerians.
Before they go and come before 200 naira, sometimes 100. Now if they go and come back now 400 now to the entire motor now. Rubber of rice now, this 40 rice now 2,000 naira. This Buhari rice 115. Cup of rice we buy this morning when I not see money to buy rubber. Now 140 I take buy. So it's still there. Everything there for market. Nothing we not there. What they buy before 20 naira now 15 naira.
A Benin-based journalist criticized the organized labor for the abrupt suspension of the strike action, having mobilized for the exercise.
Well, Gabriel Noel says my name. I'm the correspondent of Vanguard newspaper in Benin. I saw it coming. Because Nigerian labor leaders have never impressed me. It's under Pupu Yaya. And at the end of the day, the poor workers are taken to the cleaner and nobody respects them, not even the government, because their leaders have treated them off.
The civil society community is not also happy with the way and manner the strike was suspended. A human rights activist, Patrick Eholo, chairman for the Committee for the Defense of Human Rights, Edo State, Barrister Abraham Oviawe, Kola Edokpai, expressed their annoyance this way.
What is NSC? It's supposed to represent the interest of the workers. And here you have states that is owing workers' salaries that they have not paid. I feel disappointed by the call-off, but I also feel that there's nothing wrong in sitting down to discuss and chat a way forward in resolving the issues if there is sincerity of purpose. Now they're talking about palliatives. Why did they wait until the labor's engagement if they were sincere? Knowing fully well that this increase is going to hit hard on the people. Is there a concomitant increase in salaries or wages of the people?
This is a clear indication that we do not have confidence on the NSC to lead the struggle towards the emancipation of the masses.
The Edo State chairman of NLC, Comrade Sonny Osayende, has also expressed displeasure over the action of its national leadership.
They didn't go down well with a lot of the leadership because they come to politically in Edo State. They are aware of the hardship every worker is passing through, even the common man on the street is passing through as a result of this hike.
While justifying the decision of NLC, a former president of National Union of Local Government Employees, Edo State Chapter, Kaduna Eboigbodin, said it would have been more devastating if the union leaders had gone ahead with the mass protest and strike action.
The economic impact of the strike action will be so devastating for already damaged economy, and the commoners will be the people that are going to suffer more for it. Since they said they have approved some palliative measure for them, let us listen to them and see whether the palliative measure is working.
However, the civil society are not treating the matter with a kid close. Oviawe particularly said the matter is beyond the NLC and TUC.
We control the social space, we control the people, and as such, if labor compromises, if and when the time comes, the struggle shall continue. It's a case of no retreat, no surrender. We never bargain for this.
Similarly, Patrick Holo said he was mobilizing 1 million Nigerians for a mass action.
I am going to organize a million march. Don't reverse the petrol hike, and it's going to be a murder of all protests.
Comrade Imafidon Stevens solicited for the cooperation of all Nigerians in the fight against unfriendly government policies.
By now, we're expecting the government to reduce the cost of governance. We're expecting the government to say all ministers, all political office holders, that they're going to be on a zero-level salary, not hiking pump price of fuel, not hiking electricity. I want to say this is a direct fight between the bourgeois and the commoners. And we come together collectively with a common goal, with a common sense, and reject this oppression.
Notwithstanding their threats, the decision of government will be made known in the coming days. For KUFM's Extra Voices, Nosahai Owadiai.
Coming up in a moment on our entertainment news, Burna Boy turns down activist Omoyele Showore's invitation. Details in a moment. Welcome back. You're still listening to Newsbreak on 92.7 KUFM. And now to our entertainment news. When Nigerian singer Damini Ogulu, popularly known as Burna Boy, has fired back at Omoyele Showore after being invited to a #RevolutionNow protest scheduled to hold on October 1st. The media personality and former presidential candidate of the African Action Congress, AAC, sent out the invitation through a tweet in which he stated how Burna Boy has been described as a revolutionary musician and also compared to late music legend Fela Kuti. Burna Boy, however, declined the invitation by insisting that he is not Fela Kuti. He also recalled how people stayed away from his mother's family for associating with Fela. Reacting to Burna Boy's insistence on not being Fela, Shori insinuated that the singer portrays Fela's character when it is artistically convenient. And finally, on entertainment news, to our foreign scene, where American rapper Dr. Dre has responded to his estranged wife Nicole Young's request for $2 million a month spousal support amid their divorce battle. Following their split over the summer after 24 years of marriage, Young had listed her monthly expenses amounting to over $2.5 million earlier this month. The hip-hop mogul has now hit back at her demand, calling it absurd as he's already footing the bill for her every need. Dre claims he also pays for Young's credit card bills and notes that his business manager pays for her MS Centurion Black Card, which its bill ranges from $150,000 a month to $350,000 per month. The estranged couple, who both got married on May 25, 1996, have 2 children together, son Trues and daughter Truly. In all, the iconic producer has 6 children, 4 sons and 2 daughters by 5 different women. And that's it on entertainment news. And now, on sports news, Serena Williams withdraws from French Open after suffering injury. Egosa Igbeka has more on our sports desk this morning.
Good morning. 3-time French Open champion Serena Williams has withdrawn from the competition this year because of an Achilles injury. The 39-year-old, who defeated Christiane in straight sets in her first round match, had been scheduled to play Bulgaria's Svetlana Pironkova in her second round game today. The American has won 23 Grand Slam singles titles and was aiming to equal Margaret Court's all-time record of 24 titles. And now to football, where England midfielder Mason Mount missed the crucial penalty kick as Tottenham Hotspur defeated Chelsea 5-4 on penalties after a 1-1 draw to reach the Carabao Cup quarterfinals last night. A total of 9 penalties had been converted before Mount stepped up to take the 10th, but his effort clipped the post and went wide. Chelsea had dominated the first half, and new signing Timo Werner netted his first goal for the club with a clinical finish into the bottom corner in the 19th minute. Spurs responded well after the break, and debutant Sergio Reguilon's side-footed effort from inside the area was pushed over the crossbar by Chelsea goalkeeper Edward Mendy, who was also making his first appearance for his new club. Jose Mourinho's side got their reward 7 minutes from regulation time when Reguilon's cross slid through to the back post for Eric Lamela to coolly convert from 6 yards. With no extra time played, the match went straight to penalties. And now to transfer, where Aston Villa have signed England midfielder Ross Barkley from Chelsea on a season-long loan. The 26-year-old, who has 33 international caps, has been at Stamford Bridge since moving from Everton in January 2018. He has played 3 times for the Blues this season, scoring once. The attacking midfielder has fallen down the pecking order at Chelsea after the signings of forwards Kai Havertz, Timo Werner and winger Hakim Ziyech, and is yet to start in the Premier League this season. Barkley is the 5th major signing for Villa this summer, following the arrivals of winger Bertrand Traoré from Lyon, striker Holly Watkins from Brentford, goalkeeper Emiliano Martinez from Arsenal, and right back Matty Cash from Nottingham Forest. And finally, Manchester City have signed 23-year-old defender Ruben Dias from Benfica on a 6-year contract for about £65 million. Dias becomes City manager Pep Guardiola's 3rd significant summer signing, following the arrivals of defender Nathan Ake and forward Ferran Torres. The Portugal international graduated from the Benfica Academy before making 113 senior appearances and winning the Portuguese title in 2018-2019 season. He has also won 19 caps for Portugal, and he will bolster the City defense, which conceded 5 goals in their recent defeat to Leicester City. Diaz has been being touted rather as Vincent Kompany's replacement, with Guardiola opting to utilize Fernandinho as a central defender last season following the influential Belgian's departure. Meanwhile, Argentina defender Nicolas Otamendi has moved the other way for £13.7 million. And that's it from sports. My name is Egosa Igbeka, and back to you, Orlando.
Thank you so much, Agosa. And that's the news. But before we go, let's take a quick recap of the headlines. On the news this morning, we told you that President Buhari has ordered the extension of Itakpe-Warri Railway to link the south and north. Governor Obaseki led PDP governors on a thank you visit to Benin Monarch. And finally, on Newsbreak this morning, in today's Extra Voices, respondents disagree with organized labor over suspension of strike action. Please do remember that the continued unity of Nigeria is a collective responsibility. Be sure to play your parts. Do not forget, you can listen to us anywhere in the world, either by visiting our website at www.kufm.net, or you can download our KU mobile app from the Google Play Store. We're also live on YouTube at KUFM Nigeria. You can now listen to us on radioguardian.com. KUFM Newsbreak was produced by Lebedum Asagwaram. I am God's Love Orlando, saying thanks for listening and good morning.
Don't you touch that down.